Takeaway Tuesdays episode.
We got
4.
the energy, building integrity. Give me a second.
I feel a wave coming on. They wanna know what we on. Never quit, we keep going. Keep that heat up on the stove. I feel a wave coming on. Feel a wave.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Freddy Davis III with Undrafted Media Group, here with another Takeaway Tuesdays. Let's get into it, man. So, like I said, this Takeaway Tuesdays, our hope for this series is as we grow and we expand and experience, that we can help troubleshoot some of the things that you may encounter, whether you're a videographer, artist, small business, whatever it is, entrepreneur, that you might find helpful for you in your gig or your events, whatever like that. And just give you some insight on how our perspective is on a couple of things. So what we're going to talk about today on this Tuesday is our gig and our events that we use or that we do collaborate with putting on a podcast. So we are part of a podcast called NexLevel. Shout out to NexLevel. Shantae is the host. She's the director. She is the one behind, she's the brains behind the operation. All right. So if you don't know what NexLevel is, y'all make sure y'all check it out. I believe it just launched either in January or February. While you're watching this, it will be February. So go check out the website, NexLevel Magazine. Our video shoot or recording shoot for that gig, we're going to go over and we're going to discuss, talk about the things that went well, talk about the things that didn't go well, and talk about a reflection at the end. All right. So before we get into that, I want to give some context to this recording date. All right. This is the second recording that we've done for Shantae from NexLevel. Now, me and Divine Digital, we collaborate in this podcast, right? So I will tell you the first podcast that we did, and let me give a disclaimer, all right? When you do things and you gain experience, and it's not always going to look pretty in the beginning, all right? I'm going to let you know that now. The good thing is you should see yourself projecting upward, right? Why I say that is because the first podcast that I ever was a part of, Undrafted Media Group was a part of, it was called the Pickup Podcast. Shout out to the Pickup Podcast. My good friends, Dominique and Chrisette, they are great speakers, and they allowed us to be a part of their experience and their launching for their podcast. Now, I will say that looking back at it, it was not the best quality, right? Hey, we can admit that it was not the best quality, not because our equipment wasn't good. It's because the settings that we used wasn't favorable to the environment. There were some things that happened. First thing, we were supposed to be on the top floor. We were supposed to be on the second floor. There was something that shattered, and they had to move us to the first floor, which the second floor had a door, and it was going to kind of block out some of the outside noise. However, the first floor did not have a door, and it completely did not block out the sound. It was in the coffee shop. And, you know, coffee shops, they be talking. So it had like a coffee shop feel. You could hear people in the back and stuff, which it wasn't that bad as far as audio wise, right? The video, like there was some shadowing. There was not so good lighting. So things were not lit correctly, right? So, you know, shout out to the Pickup Podcast. Go check out their content. They have some good stuff. And I am just thankful that they allowed us to be a part of it. And when and if you use us again, we got you. All right. Our quality is better. We know what to do now. We didn't have all the answers then. Okay. We got some answers now. So I say that because you have to be humble enough, not Pickup Podcast. Everybody that's growing, we all have to be humble enough to point out the things that we need help in, or we need to grow in, or we need to learn more about. I think too many people in social media just focus on the things that they're good at. Nah, you didn't always have it like that, but it's always like a highlight reel. Not always. Let me take that back. A lot of the times you'll see people's highlight reels instead of their failures, instead of their mess ups, their mistakes, their accidents. So here on this channel, we don't want to just highlight the things that we did well. We want to highlight the things that we need to improve. All right. So let's get into this Takeaway Tuesdays episode 4. Yes. Come on. Bring it in. Bring it in. Yep. That's right. So, things that we did well. We arrived early, got there super early. We had all the equipment, we had lighting, we had our camera. This time, I will say, like I said, we recorded previously. So this is our second recording. Our first recording was actually in September of last year, September or August of last year. That was 2022. And the things that were very frustrating, right, was my camera, Sony A7 III, overheated.
Trying to make things happen and all this different type of stuff.
Right. So after I dropped in my
This is Texas. I understand it's gonna overheat. However, we were inside, fam. I don't know why it would have to overheat inside. So I quickly found out that it's not a camera meant for continuous shooting. Oh no, I didn't know that. I had no idea. I thought if I just press record. Now I did know that it had a limit to how long it could shoot. Like I think it stops at like 30 minutes, right? There is a way that you can reduce the overheating by taking the setting off of the sensitivity of the overheating, which I haven't done that yet. But I did research that, so that's probably one of the things I will need to do. So for that shoot, the first one that we did for NexLevel, my camera overheated. Thank God we had 3 cameras. We had my camera, we had Divine Digital's camera, and we had my homie Sherm Music's camera. I think he was a Mark II, and I actually think Divine Digital uses the same kind of camera. And my camera was a center camera. And first of all, I was so up close. The zoom in was too much. Zoom in was too much, yo. Like, after looking back, I was like, I'm sorry. I just got all of your face. And, I should have zoomed out. And I tried to make it like like very motion, like video sense. You know what I'm saying? I tried to give it that kind of vibe. Which, there's some pros and cons to using that kind of vibe. So anyways, it overheated. She had 4 interviews that day. First interview went great, 20 minutes, great, right? Second interview, I think it went about 35, almost 40 minutes. I saw the warning sign, the caution sign on the overheating. I was like, ooh, that was close. So we had some time. What did I do between that time and the third interview? I went to the fan and fanned my camera off. And, it may have extended it a little bit. But on the third shoot, it just overheated. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And so, it came back on, came back off, whatever like that. So the fourth interview, it does the same thing. Thankfully, on the last home stretch, it recorded. And after she was done with that in the last interview, it just went completely off. And so thankfully that, we caught what we caught. We had 3 cameras. We were pretty much covered. And the quality was good. First, let's talk about the things that we brought to the recording shoot, right? So because of the experience that I had with the Sony A7 III overheating, I wanted to make sure that we were covered and didn't have to worry about the overheating for the center camera. So what did I do? Man, that rice. Sorry. What did I do? I went to Aperturent, my friends at Aperturent. I rented a camera and I rented a camcorder, the Canon XA15. I rented that thinking that was going to solve all our issues. We can dance and have a great time without anything happening. And it didn't overheat, right? We used it, didn't overheat. However, I would not use that camcorder again ever in my life. Let me tell you why. First of all, I did research this before. It's not a 4K, which that's not completely, it doesn't throw the camera out of the window. However, why would you not want to shoot in 4K? You might as well shoot in 4K. There's 1080p. There's a lot of stuff. You could shoot in 1080p. People might not really notice a difference if you're watching on a cell phone or something like that. If you're watching on a tablet, watching on a desktop, then you could see a difference. You will see a difference. So that was one of the drawbacks of it. It's only 1080p. The other drawback on it was the filing format that it was using. Fam, what? It's like a DVD format. Like, why? Like, I don't need all that. I don't need that, fam. You know what I had to do? I had to actually buy a program that converted that, because all the other programs only do a snippet of the file that you're trying to convert, right? Some of the programs might say, oh, you get 3 minutes of free this or 5 minutes of free this. Fam, it was like a 40-minute shoot. All right, so I needed all that, so I had to subscribe to something that I'm not even going to use again, as far as I can tell, right? So that was that. So me not using it before we used it is a mistake, all right? If you get some equipment, make sure you test it out before you use it. I say that because when I used it and I listened back to it, fam, there was no sound. And I had my external mic on it. I don't know why the sound was not coming out. And something that could have been troubleshooted before. I mean, thankfully, I saw their lips move. I know when they were talking about stuff and they said a prayer in the beginning. I know when that happened. And yeah, so it didn't have sound. And why that's not a big issue for us is because we weren't counting on the external mic from that camcorder. I actually rented the Rode Wireless 2 mic. How do you say this thing? Rode Wireless Go 2 wireless lavaliers. Okay, I rented some of those and they were phenomenal, fam. They were phenomenal. So these are the things that were right. They're phenomenal. The sound quality was. Can we give a round of applause? Sound quality was great. Sound quality was great, yo. The whole editing process was a lot smoother this time. We had some experience. We know what we were looking for. We know what we wanted. The setup was great. The atmosphere was great. We were at Photo Space in Garland. They also have a photo space in Dallas as well. Actually, I think we were in Dallas. We were in Dallas. We were in Garland. And it's a bigger location. If you're looking for a place to do your photo shoots or do video stuff, check out Photo Space. They're really great people. And so we were there. The set was great. The editing was great. We did some promo stuff as well. And just the overall great experience. Like, this is what you want to happen. This is what you want to see. You want to be able to see growth in what you do. And, the techniques that you use, see how well they come together. And if you have to switch things around, you can switch them around. However, everything went well, right? Everything went well. All right. So, yeah. And thank God everything went well. Things to improve. Once again, if I had to do it all over again, I would not use the Canon XA15. Just would not use it. Avoid that camera at all costs. I'll just speak for myself. I'm not going to use that camera ever again because the filing format, just the look of it, like, it didn't look right. I'm used to the Sony, even some of the other Canons. The camcorder, it doesn't blend well with another, like with the mirrorless camera. In my opinion, it just didn't blend well we blended it the best we could. I did edit it and put it in throughout the interview. However, it mixed well. It just was not the main shot. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're using it for the main shot and mixing it in with 4K stuff, it's not going to look, you don't want it to be your full shot. So anyways, would avoid that. Also things to improve, and I don't necessarily think it's a thing to improve on, but it is a thing to be aware of. With these Rode wireless go-to mic lavaliers, wireless, it does not, for some reason, if you hook it up to a Mac, the software to a Mac, you're not going to be able to see the recording that you just recorded. It's crazy. I don't know why they did that. I don't know, whatever the case was, but I did extensive research, y'all. I was up until 1:00 a.m. that morning trying to figure out, because I'm like, yo, I just like I said, I tested it before I actually used it, right? So I tested it and I was like, where is the recording test? It's not coming up. It's like, okay, Lord, like, what's going on here? And so somebody had, and I just said, you know what? Let me try the PC. God was saying try the PC. So I'm like, all right, I'll try the PC. And you know what? It worked. The recordings actually showed up and it appeared. And I was like, that's so strange. So anyways, I say that because the things that you want to use for your actual set, make sure you use them before you get to your set, so you don't look crazy, so you don't look like a fool, so you don't look stupid. All right, you want to look like you know what you're doing. You want to know what you're doing. You want to know, the equipment that you have. So anyways, I say that because you're going to need to know this. So, all right, so we had the wireless mics. We had the Canon camcorder. What else? That's all that we rented. And we only did one interview. That's with Miss Joanne. She also has a jewelry store called Diamond and Gems. It's a great store. Y'all make sure y'all check it out. And also she has a clothing boutique called Emus Clothing Boutique. So great entrepreneur. Her story is great. Very inspiring, very motivational. And if y'all have not seen or checked out any of NexLevel's content, y'all make sure y'all go check it out. I'm so honored and grateful to be a part of the collaboration for this podcast. It's called NexLevel Podcast. Y'all make sure y'all go check it out. Show us some love. Also show, it's the Pickup Podcast. Show them love, man. Definitely learned a lot there as well. And yeah, so those are the things that need to improve. And just a reflection, we did do a interview with me and NexLevel, so that's going to be coming out soon. I'm excited for that. And Undrafted Media Group interviewed NexLevel. That's what I meant to say. And so be on the lookout for that. Reflection, not going to use the Canon camcorder ever again. And I might end with this. I researched what camcorders can do continuous shots. That is a Sony. And I believe that the Sony, I don't want to get this wrong. Hold up. Oh, here it is.
50 W50 batteries, whatever it is.
Hey, listen. Shout out to Diana Gladney, I think I said that. Diana Gladney. Yo, she had done a video about continuous shooting Sony camera. Sony camera is A6100. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get this camera. Eventually, I'm going to get this camera because it's 4K. Like she said, it's continuously shooting. It's good to have an adapter battery in there. But it's continuous shooting and it's great. It works well. And I've seen other reviews as well on it. I don't know why it took so long for me to come up on this. However, thank you so much, Diana Gladly, for doing that video. We really appreciate it. So anyways, reflection time. In the future, when the opportunity presents itself to get the camera, I'm going to get that camera and have it to help out with the podcasts and everything like that. So yeah, reflection time, man. That's good. And we're going projection is going up, y'all. We want to go up. All right. So we don't want to go down. We want to go up. All right. So if y'all have any comments, y'all have any questions that we're able to answer, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. If there's any questions or anything that you want to see on this channel, make sure you put it in the comments as well. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later. Once again, it's the Undraft Media Group. We making plays. Talk to y'all later. Blessings.
I feel a wave coming on. Feel a wave, yeah. They